Oh, hello, my sweet. So won't you come with me? There's just so much to show in this Grimlock Distillery. And if you like bullshit or want some hobby tips, this Nightmare Priest Nigh and Binary Herald Magnificent welcomes you. Hello, my sweets. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. It's Friday, so you know we gotta get down. Alrighty. Live chat is where it's supposed to be. I guess I could do the responsible thing and share a link. Copy. I don't think that I can add. Nope. Here's what we're just gonna do. Some good old Brittany there. And we'll just say live now. That sounds good, right? Live now. And then we'll put a little link. And then, I mean, I'm here for Brittany. That sounds good. Toxic. Hell yeah. I'm down with that. Alrighty. Well, look who it is. The goat. Good morning, Possum. Good morning, Roz. It's the goat. Ain't no goat, baby. Ain't never been a goat. Just a fucking god. Alrighty. We're gonna work on this guy today. I'm really excited about him. So let's get in it. Ba-da-da-da-da. Where are my hands? Are they right here? I think they are. Oh yeah. So let's take a peep. So where are we with this guy? Well, I added, since we last saw each other, I worked on the hair a little bit more. My hair. And it looks really good, if I don't say so myself. Not to toot my own horn, but toot-a-toot-toot-toot-toot. However, there is a small piece that is coming off, and I'm gonna grab a little pair of tweezers just to grab that. What are you doing, you goofball? But yeah, so pretty much, while I do really think that my initial idea was good, it was not the best choice. I think probably grabbing the hair, kind of like how I do hair, getting small clumps, putting glue down, sticking it, letting it dry, and grabbing another small clump, as opposed to gluing it and then cutting it. That left me with a lot of blocked in spots, and that will look okay once we've got paint on there and whatnot, but it was not what I initially wanted. So I think from now on I will do them the other way, which would be, yeah, not gluing the whole brush at one time. That's a bad choice. Also, I'm gonna have to take off this hoodie. I am too hot already. So looks like it's gonna be time for a change. I'm gonna go grab a different shirt. 1 second, my sweets. It's so hot. Well. Okay, amen now. I don't know what shirt I want to wear. That one's fun. I'll wear that one. I'm sorry. I know you're thinking, man, you should have done this before. But I thought I'd just put the hoodie on and I'd be fine. That's not the case. It's not the case. This morning, my wife and I were commenting on the amount of my clothing that is just kind of left around the house, from where I like run off and I change real quick. And we were saying how he might come across that and just be like, oh God, well look what the cat's drugged in. It was me. We were saying that Theo's just wandering around the house and then he just finds piles of my clothes and he's just like, oh God, the rapture. You've made a mistake. Bring him back. And I like that. I think that'd be funny. So today we got all kinds of stuff we're going to work on. Let's see. We are going to add a little, what is the word? Almost like a little canister. That's the first thing I want to do, is add a little canister onto this guy. And I'm thinking, you think Theo's pants would be left behind if he was raptured? Oh man, I don't know. No. See, so Theo has fluffy pants. Like he has just his legs are so fluffy. He's so great. We do refer to those as his pants, but we also often say that he just likes being naked. Because he does wear clothes sometimes, specifically a black hoodie. He used to have, when we didn't have our yard fenced in, we would take him out on a harness, which, yeah, he absolutely, the moment that we put it on him, he was like, what the heck is even this? And then as soon as the door opened, it's like I literally could see the gears turning in his head. And he was like, oh, if I wear this, I get to go outside. And from that moment on, he was just like, all right, cool. And then he would get ready for his harness. But then we fenced in the backyard and that boy got spoiled. Rotten. He's just rotten. It's all my fault. I'm not saying it's not. It's entirely my fault. But I want him to have a great little life. He's just my little guy. He's just my sweet, sweet baby. Love him so much I could eat him up. Don't go, I love you so much. I'll eat you up, I love you so. Any fans of Where the Wild Things Are out there? Man, no, okay, so that's gonna be too big. I think I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands. Put him in the hoodie tonight for my birthday present. How have I not seen it? Do I have to wait until winter? No, well, he wears it. It's hanging up. It's hanging up. Like if you look when you come in the house, we have a coat rack that's like kind of built into the wall with pegs. There's pegs that I put on the wall, and I think the first one, typically underneath my hoodie, like the hoodie that's there, is Theo's hoodie. It's just a little black hoodie about that big. But whenever he used to wear his harness, that's what I was going to say, is he used to wear his harness. We were looking into getting a bunch of patches for it. And one of the main patches that we were going to get him was a Mr. Peanut, because Theo loves peanuts. Yeah, we're going to get him a whole bunch of real metal looking patches because he's real tough. Real tough guy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use watch parts. Shoot. Oh, shoot. Ba-da-down. Where are you at? What? That did not feel good. That didn't feel good at all. But I'm not gonna say any of what my brain was just like, ah! Okay. Where the heck are my watch parts? Where is my goddamn lawnmower? Hey, it's brass. That might be handy. We might like that. There might be some good stuff in there. Yeah, I don't know if I ever finished on that rant yesterday, but oh, rad. I bet watch parts would really work really well. Hope you're okay after that bump. Yeah, it got me right in the elbow. Right in the old bow. Just throwing bows now. Okay, so I have a whole little thing of just watch parts. There's micro mesh. So I don't think I've ever shown this. This is my little tub of micro meshes. So these are going to be good for like making very, 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 very small screens, things like that. These are removed from a water filter, like a Brita filter. These are the things that keep the charcoal from going out when water runs through it. They're a pain in the ass to get to, but it's a it's one of the thinnest meshes I've ever seen. So It's definitely something that I had to harvest. These, some of them are plastic. That's the same thing. That would be more for terrain, whereas the other stuff would be wonderful for putting on a model. But we are looking for watch parts. And I've got a little thing of watch parts somewhere in this hellhole of my bits cabinet box basement. My bits basement. Bits box, baby. I got a bits basement. I'm a hoarder. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe. I use the stuff. Is it hoarding if you use all the stuff, or if you have intentions of it? No. Well, that's the dangerous part right there. Now I'm a hoarder. Oh no, it's all gonna get used. This is a bag of literal garbage. Yeah. Where the fuck are my watch parts? But yeah, I don't think I finished that statement. Where's my goddamn lawnmower is a reference to Resident Evil Biohazard. One of my, I don't know, that game was wonderful. Hey, they're labeled as clock parts. I'm looking for a W. What a goofball. Micro mesh screens, micro machines. Yeah, dude, micro mesh screens, micro machines, it's all the same. Operation Space Jam was a government conspiracy. Don't let them fool you, sheeple. That's, well, I'm not going to say we got it in one, but because, you know, maybe there's something better in here. So, this is not great. But this little sumbitch has gotten magnetized. Get out of here with that. Where are you even going? Come on. That one's good too. I think it's the same type of little piece. So I'll pick this up so you guys can see what I'm looking at. This is what I mean, very similar to exactly what I was looking for. This little guy, if you're a watch aficionado, maybe you know what that is, or a clock guy. If you're a clock guy, gal, person, maybe you know what that is. I don't. It's some kind of small little screw. It's a set screw, I guess. But I don't know what the actual function. When I say I don't know what it is, I don't know what the function is in a clock or in a watch. I have a lot of watch parts because, well, sometimes you. Ooh, now there we go. That might be more like what I was looking for. This baby is little itty bitty. Tell me your secrets. Show them your secrets. Do it. Nope, other way. Yeah, I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to show that. It's so small. But this is a very, 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 very small. Well, it's gone forever. I literally heard it hit the rubber. So maybe we'll find another one. And yeah, if you're wondering how often does that happen? As much as you'd think. Yeah. It's okay. Wow. Fuck me. Alrighty. Hey, you know, you gotta just roll with the punches. That would have been great, but you know, sometimes God closes the door and your foot's in it. And that's how I broke my foot. My foot didn't break, it just got really fucked up. Okay, well, we're not finding that part ever again. So it looks like we're going to be using these guys. Let's see, how big are they? And I could absolutely go with, yeah, that's too damn big. That's going to look goofy as hell, maybe. Maybe. Shit, I don't know, maybe that could be cool. No, I'm thinking that actually would be good. Alrighty. So we're going to go in a little bit with there. Because I don't want it to stick out all the way like that, that's for sure. That's too long. Me and these tweezers, y'all. Oh, they're gonna take me. I'm gonna leave this world whenever they fall down like this. Those things, they are sharp. They're very sharp. They will stick in the table if I drop them. And for some reason, I just want to put them in my lap. Why? From a good distance, like a drop. I want to drop them in my lap. That's a terrible choice on my part. Okay. Yeah, well, I already said we can see my hands. However, they are not where they should be. A little blow, little kisses, just some little kisses. So, oftentimes, when we are dicking around with really small shit, tweezers, and actually, so yeah, that's a very good thing. Do as I say, not as I do. You're gonna watch, if you've watched this all the time, you listen to me say, oh yeah, hey, this is how I do it, and I'm probably messing up. Yep, I don't remember often when I'm messing up, and then I just do the thing, and then I'm just like, man, I already had a system for this. But yeah, losing that part. I mainly don't fuck with picking up small bits with my tweezers or with my pliers, my needle nose that I really like, because often these small bits, because I'm messing with them, are metal. And the grip, there's that fucking glue. I need to clean my desk. I've been so deep in all of this shit that I've not put any time into cleaning like I need to do, because I know I'm going to get right back into it the next day. But yeah, man, I am really happy with how this guy is turning out. I added, so I didn't finish this. Yesterday I added, I get too distracted. We got the hair on there and we got this little pipe connected. I think that was done prior. I added this belt buckle. I made a belt buckle. We did that with bending wire, and I am going to, I'm not gonna try to pretend like it's not there. Because of how to make this connection, we are gonna have to do some very light green work right there. If not, it will be, you can see a slight crack there, and I don't want to see that at all. And that could get covered up with, like, you know, magnets. Magnetized. You got to stop that. Come on. Get out of here. Yeah, so, and then I put the fabric on, which that is going to be wine bottle wrapper. I think that's all I did yesterday. I think that the chainmail was already on there, which that's the cheesecloth, the straps. Yeah, the hair was made with a brush. And yeah, I got a little bit of super glue all in here because initially I splayed it out, put glue around like the shape that I was trying to achieve, and I cut that in super glue, and it would have worked if it wasn't for those meddling kids. I would have gotten away with it. It did not work because having everything pushed like that, using super runny super glue, it just spreads, and it covered more than I was anticipating. What we were trying to achieve was very similar to like how I make scalps, or how I do hair, which is essentially we want a thin layer of super glue that the hair will stick to. But hey, you know, I've literally never made a plume with actual bristles before. It's been on my list to do with my children, Emperor's children, but I thought, hey, let's workshop that here because he needs a plume because that looks rad as hell. So today we're going to finish putting some details on him, and then we're going to move into, there's the little bars. So this is what I was using to make the buckles, to make the, you know, this is the 0.5 half millimeter gauge wire, music wire. Very dense, holds its shape, very strong. It is exponentially more durable than what I actually used to do most pinning, which is another reason that I'm kind of a fan of it, because that means that if it does drop, those little pieces they're not breaking, that's for sure. And they honestly might hold the model together. That is not going to work. We need it to go in until about here. I want to see just the small edge, and that still come about there. Yep. We might have to. We're going to be drilling for a bit. Ba-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh. How deep is that? Let's see. How about there? That's not deep enough. Hopefully everyone has had a good morning. I am very sorry that I did not do Dying World Thursdays yesterday. I had a not fun time. And here's a PSA, public service announcement for everybody. If you mess with bamboo printers, if you mess with them, there's a little piece of plastic that comes on filaments. I'll show you that little piece of plastic. And Kelly, bless her heart, was just like, man, you would think that they would do blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh no. Like after explaining the situation, I was like, this is 100% my fault. Please do not remove before assembling. I've done this many times at this point. And for some reason yesterday, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just going to remove it now and then I'll put it on spool. And that was a life choice that I will never make again. And I would highly recommend no one else do it either, because that was very frustrating. Because it's just like, one, the money, two, because it's just like, man, actually thinking about how much my time is worth to like how much time I have to get shit done. It's just not even remotely worth trying to fuck with that, because it's just like, dude, it took hours. It took hours to sort through that fucking bird nest. It sucked so bad. 316 meters of filament. That's how much is on a roll. So a 316 meter bird nest, which is just absolutely just covered. Tough. Now you have a ton of scrap plastic. Right? Yeah. So I was like, I cut it into a bunch of small little rings, and it's just like I was telling Kelly, I was like, I could feed it into the machine and it would still work. Yay. Now that is what we were looking for. I can feed it in through the back, but it clogged my AMS, the thing that feeds everything and makes it to where I don't have to mess with so much stuff. So it just really, like, yesterday spiraled from, oh, I'm getting ready to start working. I came down here to start working on stuff for Merkborg, and that's when I did it. And I was like, well, I don't even know how to deal with this. It was more of just trying to clean up the mess initially, and then it became oh boy, how am I going to get this to work? Yeah, I was very stressed about it. Just a stressful experience. But no, thank you for saying that, because that makes me, a lot of scrap plastic rod. That makes me feel better about it. It's just like, I don't want to be wasteful. I have such a desire to not create waste. I'm gonna have to go in with green stuff on that and fill in those little bits. I think that little crack, maybe. I don't know. It might look cool. I really like that though. I think having just a little bit of something else kind of adds a little bit to the overall look of that helmet. I'm really happy with that. Nah, dog. If anything, you get a merger. Sunmove, if I recall, and try to repair that way, but it ain't worth the time. So merger, that's what they're called. I looked into it. I was like, because that really, with all of the shit that I have, I'm just like, I need to figure out something, an actual like, hey, can I reconvert like the wasted filament? And I saw that there was a new product coming out that's like a desktop like recycler that will, you throw your scraps in there and it turns it into filament. And that would be awesome. And the prices of them were just bonkers. And I was like, okay, that's even far more crazy. Like, it'd just be cheaper and better for everyone if I just threw this away. That's not true. Wouldn't be better for everyone. Don't throw away filament. And that has a little bit to do kind of with a show that I was going to recommend. Animals on Drugs. Kelly and I just pounded through all 3 episodes that were on, I think they're on the Discovery Channel. but we absolutely love that kind of stuff. Not animals on drugs, but any like, you know, nature documentary stuff. I really, 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 really liked it. If you need some like eye bleach, if you're in need of like, hey, I want to make sure that some people still care about things that are good. It was very, very, very good. It's about this dude that goes out and pretty much looks for animals that have been impacted by like humans, for all these different reasons. We watched a couple other things that he's done, like about alien sharks, which I've always been. I think that's not surprising to anybody that I love everything that lives in the abyssal blackness of the ocean. I always have. That's some of my absolute earliest like obsessions were with deep sea fish. I've always just found them just so amazing. Um, they're just alien. They're just utterly alien. They're not like anything else. But there are so many cool animals that we saw on that show, that I did not know even existed. Um, and then also it's just cool, like the ones where you like goes out and deals with animals. There's drunk bears, meth gators, and cocaine hippos. Cocaine hippos are Pablo Escobar's. I don't know how many of you all are familiar with his work, but one of the biggest impacts that he did was he had a zoo. He just had all the animals that he wanted, and when things went down, they just kind of were on their own. And the hippos went nuts because it's the single most dangerous land animal on the planet. And they don't live in Colombia naturally, so when like 4 hippos are just released into the wild, now there's 400, and they can kill anything and eat anything, and just absolutely destroy the ecosystem. And it's just, I don't know, I really, really enjoyed seeing someone like bringing light to that, and also kind of like doing something to like fix stuff like that. I love that. Beep, beep, beep. I don't like that though. I don't like these little grooves in here. So that would be my recommendation for a fun little show about animals that I've recently watched. Yeah, look at you. I think you need some kind of little buckle back here, but I don't know. No, I think that's okay. So from here, I filled that hole. We're probably gonna do some green work. He's really looking good. I don't know how much more I want to add to him. If anything, maybe some rivets, but he might be good to go. Might just need some pouches, maybe some little pouches. I don't think that, let me look at that other knight. Yeah, no belt. You have no belt. Do you have a belt, Wilhelm? You do. This knight does not. I don't think he needs one. I might call that guy done. He looks really fucking rad. Just blend those. Wow, now I'm looking at that rope that I put on the brute's arms, and like that does look rad. And no, and I said I wanted to put more chainmail, so we're gonna put more chainmail around here, around the arms. That way, I think that will look good. So, cheesecloth. Everybody loves it. Oh yeah. Where have I been cutting? Well, obviously there. Hello. Okay. We want this to hang off those arms. So I'm going to cut it a little bit longer than I need, so I've got a nice amount of room to play with. Cheesecloth. That way? Yeah, that way. Down. That way we have what looks like little rings hanging that way. And then we're going to glue it there. So we don't need all that. And we don't need all that length either. I want to keep the flat part at the top as opposed to the rough part at the bottom, because that's the part that I'm going to be kind of distressing. So we're just going to go pretty much right there and glue it around up in there. So I need to probably scratch out a little bit in this very nice tight corner here. That would be super glue buildup, I believe. Yep, that's what that is. So get that cut out. And then we're going to come in with cheesecloth. Cheesecloth. You get back here. You're silly. Yeah, that's gonna be great. We're gonna need to trim that though, like a little. So, snip, 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 snip. Well, let's see about that one. Da-da-da. I did work on the Merkborg story though, so that I do have more progress made on it. But moving it to a Sunday, I think, definitely will make sure that I am not putting out anything that I don't think is worth your time. I just was in a very not good vibe yesterday after all that and other stuff. It's just, it adds up, weighs you down, makes it hard to make things that you really care about, even if you want to. That's just how it goes sometimes. Yep, okay, that looks good. I'm gonna go right there, push this guy in with my little tweezers. The number of materials that go into your models has got to be in the double digits. I think so. I've never thought about that. But yeah, I maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's in the double digits, you are correct. Yeah, all of them. Yeah. Texture, it's just, I stand very firm by that. Texture is the spice of life. And when it comes to model making, I think that really is more applicable. Yeah, that's a little bit too long, so I want to cut that right here. Are you applying tape right now? No tape. This is cheesecloth. I'm pretty sure this is cheesecloth. We're gonna say it's cheesecloth. It's cheesecloth. Ah, fuck me. I put it upside down. That's the way it's supposed to grow. Damn it. Okay, well, we can wait. We can make this work. It's still gonna work. What am I doing? I don't need to be upset. Yeah, so this is cheesecloth that I am snipping for. Cheesecloth. I love it. Yeah, it's, I'm a big fan. It's very good for texture. This one in particular, I think looks very, very, very convincing, especially if painted. Yo, is that the Shankly? It's the Shankly in the house. Yeah, also, shout out Shankly. What up, dude? What up? Little big dog. The Shankly. Man, we got Peter in here the other day. We got Shankly in here. We got Possum. We got Ross. We got the whole crew. Shit. Alrighty. Come on. Get up in there. Okay. So, I'm going to need to cut two lines deep. One line deep. No, I'm gonna go two. I'm gonna go two and then pull it this way. We're gonna trim that up just a slight bit. Too deep. I was too deep in the window. which has to do, that's the beginning of a joke, my brother and me joke. I was 3 deep from the window, or 3 deep in the window, talking about being on an airplane and having to go pee, like while, I want to say like while they were having turbulence or something. And it's just like, that's a not good experience. Nobody wants to be like, excuse me, I gotta go pee. I'm fairly new to conversions. I want to borrow your brain. Alrighty. I would be happy to lend my brain. I like to help. Snap. Did he goof? I don't think I did. Nope. We're looking good. I might have goofed a little bit. Might have been a little goof. Not too big of a goof, though. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm always down to help in any way I can. We're gonna need super glue in there. It's time for the glue. Yep. And then we're gonna poke a little hole in this because it likes to dry up and seal itself. I cannot lend out the brain, but I can answer any questions or show any things that that I do, and hopefully help other people make stuff that they like. The whole goal. Yeah. Get out of my fingernail, you crazy little piece of glue. What are you doing? Stop it. Oh God. Okay. Just pushing it up there. We're going to need to come in from a little bit of a different angle to get that to turn. There we go. That's what we want to see. And then we're going to go in through this little dot and go boop, boop. Yeah. Now that part of the cheesecloth is just going to get pushed in. Ah, my hand. We were talking about having a converting kit bash get together soon. Oh, hell yeah. That would be fun. Now, Shankly, are you in my part of the woods? Of the woods. I am. Oh, man. Well, well, well. Ish. Kind of like Clay-ish. Clay is honorary Kentuckian. He lives in, let me rephrase this, upper Kentucky, which is like right across the line. Which is very weird. Kelly and I were talking about that last night, that like, it's funny that like Indiana it's like Kentuckiana. And it's just like, there's a river between the two states. Like Tennessee, we're like snuggled up together. But it's not like, and then, so yeah, I'm in New Albany. Okay, blump. Hi, Antry. In New Albany. Okay, so yeah, so you're right up there with Clay. Or not right there with Clay, but in the same Kentuckiana. Hell yeah, man. Working in Louisville right now. Nice. Yeah, I am in E-Town, so I'm like 30 minutes south. Yeah, I'm happy about how that's gonna look. Come hang with us Sunday. Maybe I've got to stream some Merkborg on Sunday. What time are you guys doing the thing? I gotta see what else I got going on as well. I know today is hanging with Sham Day, and then tomorrow I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm really bad at planning. As that's all I'm saying is every state should be defined by landscape barriers. I agree. That'd be fun. Noon. Okay, well that actually is very doable. Try gerrymandering that. Gerrymandering that. I like all of that. Playing flames and hanging out. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I will have to see. I'll have to make sure I don't have anything else going on, but I will check with the misses. The misses with Kelly. I'll see, make sure she is just exponentially better about keeping up with things that I have committed to, that we have committed to. That sounds wonderful. That's fun. I like that. Okay, this is good. I'm feeling good about these. Chainmail links. I was already given permission. Hell yeah. Yes. Yes. Wait, what? Clip, clip, snip, snip. Yeah, gerrymandering. Now I'm trying to think of. It would be really cool to lock all of our states by landscape barriers. That's kind of what the Ohio does, but the river, not the state. Tennessee, we don't have one, unless it's underground in the caves. In which case, it probably is. It probably is a horrifying fault line dividing our two giant chunks of land. But maybe not. Gotta run. Sounds good. Thanks for showing up. No, wonderful having you. I will check to see, and I will get back to you on that, because that does sound very, very fun. And good morning, Miss Atri. Welcome. Snip, snip, snip. I like that. That looks good. This part, it got a little bit too clumpy, but I think we can make that work. Actually, what am I talking about? We're just going to snip a little bit more chainmail and put it over there. What am I doing? Ya goof. Ya goof. I'm the goof. Man, I know I had a whole lot more of that little stuff flying off down here. I guess I cut it up too much? Is that too long? No. There we go. Huzzah. Do you look... Yeah, that looks like chainmail. That looks great. Snip, snip, snip. Get back here. What's a dinosaur to do when there's kids on the ice? I hope to sleep in later because I have Fridays off. Oh, yeah. There you go. That's awesome. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Yeah, that's gonna be what we're wanting right there. That's gonna look good. Pull this over just a smidgen right there. And the super glue should pretty much effectively get these two run together. And because it is so thin, it should look like one piece. Blue's good, dude. We can too. And then we just go into like the pictures. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how? But I woke up at normal time on Instinct. That's the worst. I'm so sorry, Andrew. That is truly the worst when you're like, man, I'm so glad it's the weekend and I get to sleep in. It's gonna be so good. And then like you look at the clock and you're like, why am I awake right now? What happened? What has the world done to me? And from here, I'm just getting wisps, little whispers of super glue on that to give it a defined hardness, because that is just cheesecloth. So we don't want to flood it like we did up here, but we're going to come back in with some texture and stuff on that, so it'll look really good and nasty. But we want the little ends to have some structure to them so they don't look like fabric. And then any ones that we don't, we'll really probably just nip them while we're finishing this guy up. But just to display what I'm talking about, I'll do it right now. So just little pieces that look more like cheesecloth than links of like circlets, ringlets, because that is how chain link is made. It's through little rings. Snip and pull. Yeah. Hello, my sweet bonk. It was very easy for me to sleep in on weekends. Getting up at like 7 to 9 a.m. and sleeping way in for me. That's crazy. Actually, yeah, I don't know. Now that I say that, I get up at 6 every day. So like on the weekends, I wake up around, like, if I sleep in, it's like 7 something. But man, I can't imagine. Nights would be rough. But I know some people like that though. Like I know some people definitely prefer having a different schedule. Definitely, it changes things. So depending on what you're looking for, it definitely can be a blessing. So I'm thinking here, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of cleanup work on the back of that helmet for sure. But I don't want to start making green stuff until I'm like ready to start sculpting, because oh boy, that absolutely is like a game. It's like an entire change of what are we working on. I'm not even knights anymore. Oh, well, did you want to stay knights, or man? So that's just getting up really early. Well, I am sorry if you did not want to leave knights. I remember this now. I remember your schedule changed. Yes. Where does the chainmail go? This way. Boo-doo-doo. Yeah. Right there. Oh, yeah. Goes around that edge, so this way. 3 a.m. is my wakey time. My wake time. The wake. I said wakey. My wakey time. The wake time. So, like in the same time you get up. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so, yeah. My 6 is your 3. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, but the rest of your time is your time, not my time. So that definitely would be rough. That explains why he was doing his stream at 6:30 like an insane person. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's it. Yes, Possum was absolutely able to join me with my crazy schedule before adjusting to 8, and I very much appreciated it. Definitely kept me going. Which, talking about that with, I was gonna say Garth. That's not right. Gardner. My brain just broke for a second. Talking about that with Gardner. Just like streaming is very, very fun. It is stressful in some sense, because you don't, at least for me, I don't want to make anything that's not worth someone's time. And especially when it's like with the Merkborg situation, I love that Possum is always here. I love you, Possum. I love Possum too. Possum is wonderful. My sweet, sweet, sweet Possum. Which, yeah, I don't know how we haven't watched K-pop Demon Hunters again, because it was a banger. That's, yeah, just full of little bops. And I'm pretty picky about my bops. It nailed them. Pretty picky about my bops and my boops. Boop. Bonk. Yeah. Looking good. Looking good. We're going to snip 1, 2, 2, 2. 2 pieces deep. Yeah, and see, for some reason this side looks more like chainmail than the other. I don't know. Probably has something to do with how it was stitched. I don't know how cheesecloth's made. Oh God, it's not made of actual cheese, is it? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm assuming it's called cheesecloth because you wrap a cheese in it. That would be my bet. I would think, or maybe it's got holes in it like a cheese. Or breathes. I don't know why cheesecloth's called cheesecloth. You wrap cheese in it? I'm surprised I haven't been made to watch it again. Yeah, honestly, me too, myself, because I know I've listened to a lot of that soundtrack, which is, again, no complaints, it's a banger. If you're looking for a fun animated adventure, that's a recent one that has been brought into my life that I'm a big fan of. We're gonna cut there because I can't get around that. I'm a night goblin. I'm thirds getting off at 6:30 CST. Worst part of night shifts is the rest of the world is day-based. That I will absolutely. That is what I assumed. I have not worked in a job that I had to stay up that late in a very long time. 2015. Yeah, it's probably been 10 years, at least 10 years since I've had a job where I had to work. We would do night work, like certain work you can only do on a network, at nighttime, because if you fuck it up, you could go to prison. Yeah. Now I'm trying to think of. I don't think there's anything that negative that could happen. Yeah, that company doesn't even exist anymore. So here's a funny story for you. Speaking about night work and the kind of stuff that you could get into if you're doing important work and you're sleepy. At one point in time, we had some implementation that we needed to put in, and so all the work has to be done at like 3, and it has to be done before, or no, I think you started at midnight and then went to 3. I don't remember the exact dates or times, but anywho, so it's me. I'm Sleepy Boy, and I'm making this script, and like my boss is just like, I was like, what do you want me to name it? And he was like, I don't give a shit. Name whatever you want. And I was like, cheesecloth is used in sifting the fats when making cheese. Small holes keep the curds, but not the whey. Thank you. That's wonderful. I feel that, Ross. It's very weird getting an entire part of my life back after 3 years of doing nights. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, the times in which I did have to work nights, it was very much like, I don't know how people do that, because like you got to go pay stuff. And so, yeah, when you live like, or you have places that are still stuck in like, 1980 or, whenever, that only take, like you have to go in and pay with like cash or whatever. We had some utility places like that here because of how just backwards a lot of shit is. Thankfully, that's not the case anymore. But like they did not have online pay set up. Like, so for years it was just like, okay, you got to go and you got to deal with that in person. And if you are someone who works nights, that's extremely difficult. I would think to schedule and have like a normal kind of life like the rest of, like, not normal, but I would think that it's just like, it's something that I think a lot of people take for granted. But I definitely, I appreciate that. Someone has to work those shifts for things to work. Anywho, so I was like, hey, what do you want me to call this script? And he was like, I don't give a shit, name whatever you want. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I named it Party Hard, because it was 3 a.m. and I was like, party hard. I'm so sleepy. And what this thing did was essentially it locked it put all of the towers into like a locked state, so that they could have work done to them. And this only comes into funny because like the next day I don't go home. I keep working, and like, I just, well, I'll leave early, or I'll get overtime or whatever, because I was all about that grind. And they're like, at some point in time that day, my supervisor was just like, yo man, run that script. And I was like, oh yeah, I got you. So I run the script. He meant a different script. So what happened was, in the middle of the day, the entire network just starts to just die. And so in the room that like all throughout like the engineering like building, there's just TVs that constantly show alarms that would ping on stuff. And it's just every TV in that building is just like just slowly turning red, as like my script that is named Party Hard in the middle of the day just shuts down every cell site. And it took us a couple of seconds to realize what was happening, and the correlation of, hey, that happened as soon as you told Eli to push that button. And then he was just like, what script did you run? And I was like, Party Hard, baby. And he was like, oh no. And he went and he like ran the reverse script. So like there was just like essentially in the middle of the day, there was just like a 30-second like bounce. Honey. What? You are interrupting my story. I'm trying to tell them about the Party Hard. It was a real hard party. Yep. So pretty much he ran a script that went right behind mine, turning everything back up. So it was just like, they were like, oh no, oh okay. But yeah. And if any was wondering, oh hey, what does that impact have on like people? Depending on the situation. In that situation, someone might have dropped a call, but most likely the trunking, I think, was already set up to be okay. I don't think I killed the entire thing for a couple seconds. It was very scary though. Thought I was going to get fired. Did not. Don't do important things while you're sleepy. That's the lesson that I was trying to tell with that story. It's how I've, you make a script called Party Hard that'll kill your network, and it's how you put an axe in your leg. Yep. That's right, Margot. I used to be an adventurer just like you. Until I took an axe to the leg. Wouldn't recommend that either. Fucking tell him, Margot. Dad, quit telling all the secrets. Loose lips sink ships. Margot doesn't want me to tell you all of our secrets. It's just, Dad, we've collected them for years. Why are you giving them away? Margot has wares if we have coin. What are you buying? What are you selling? I'll buy it at a high price. That guy is one of my favorite video game characters that's ever been invented. The merchant from Resident Evil 4. He just had such a good vibe. Margot needs to feed her skooma addiction. What is skooma? I'm gonna have to look into skooma. Margot, you addicted to skooma? Or scuba? I'm really into scuba diving now. What, honey? Drug from Elder Scrolls? Thank you, Sam. I don't know nothing about no Elder Scrolls, or no Oblivion. I never owned anything that Oblivion was made for. But Uh, sorry, not Oblivion. What am I? I'm thinking Skyrim. That's. I fucked my own joke up. I don't know enough about it to make my joke. Honey, 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 girl, you are killing me. What do you need, sweet, sweet, sweet child of mine? Blessing of my life, child from the stars, what do you desire? Huh? What do you need? Attention? That's it? I can pull the baby chair up. You can sit in the baby chair. Do you want to sit in the baby chair? All right, come here. Come here. Oh, watch the microphone. Mm-hmm. Just a baby. It's just a baby. Just a baby and can't help it. Here, you can sit with us. Someday they'll have it on Smart Fridge. Damn, I'm pretty sure Skyrim was born. Yeah, that's the bit. I've played Skyrim once, and it was presented to me in the worst possible, I think, for me, way that it could be presented. So like, it was just like, how do you make sure Eli will never actively try to play Skyrim? But it was my buddy Alan. He was like, oh man, now you gotta check this out. And he had, so I was introduced specifically to, hey, this is Skyrim VR, which I don't like. It makes me feel, it makes me very sick. And in the middle of a dragon fight. So it was just like, hey, let me show you this really overwhelming experience real quick. And I was like, oh Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's, other than that, I guess I feel like the game is definitely one that I would have enjoyed if it not VR. But yeah, I do love that for some reason. That's that dude's like quest. And hey, you know, if you got one, cool. That's all. I gotta say, I don't understand that one because it's on everything. Like, I don't know. That's a lot. It's just a lot, you know. Do you need to make Skyrim for toasters or Alexa or? But yeah, the smart fridges. Man, I love smart fridges. Are so funny. If anyone has a smart fridge, I'm not dunking on you. I just don't. I don't understand. I guess it's just like if you're fully like down with like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get this fridge for a little bit, and then I'll replace it whenever it's like done. But like that bothers me. Like I can't do that kind of stuff. So obviously, I'm over here using cheesecloth and shit. But I also was raised with an extreme importance put on like recycling and all that kind of stuff. I care about the planet. But the whole thing with the smart fridges, it's just like when I look at them, I'm just like, that's going to break, and then my fridge is going to just not be good because I put a robot in it, and I don't need a robot in it. I just need it to keep things cold. You know what I mean? And sometimes, well, yeah, no food. I say I don't put everything in the fridge. That's gonna be a little tricky. Tricky. We're gonna go in. Oh man, what am I doing? Okay, sorry. I love the tweets that are like, my mom took my phone, tweeted from Nintendo DS, and then the next tweet is like, she took my DS, tweeted from Samsung to my fridge. That's so good. I love that. My mom took my phone. I love it because it also is like, it's the same thing as, I mean, I like that it enables like that kind of a situation where it's just like, I can still do the thing. I just have to go get something else to do it with now. Trying to take my phone, fine, I'll just use the fridge. Now, what do they do after that? Like, it's just like, unplug the fridge. No more texting. I was really excited. Speaking of fun things, the boozy bears, the bears that like to break into people's houses and drink all their booze. They found one that only had like one arm. It was a three-legged bear, and like essentially he would not have survived if it wasn't like it was like a hey, that's a good vibe because they pretty much found this bear that the only reason that he was able to be alive is that he had found a neighborhood of people that were really excited about this bear breaking into their houses and drinking their beer and like being a local bear. Um, they loved him. They just love him. Uh, and I really like that because it's just like, man, that is a it puts I guess me in my place. Like I can be very negative. I don't mean to, but the world is a monstrous place at times. Um, so it's always really exciting to see. It's like, man, I would have thought that this would be like, what are you guys doing? You can't be feeding that bear, you know. But it's just like, actually, if it wasn't for these people like just loving this bear, he would have never survived. Um, yeah, the bear is the equivalent of village deity. Like it really, like yeah, the people that like they all loved him. But yeah, I found that very good. Uh, just a feel good vibe. And then I want to say the alligator. They found an alligator that did have meth. It was on meth, which is fucked up. Like I've never thought about that, and it's the same thing that I had not thought about until, man, I am trying to think of who all was talking about it at Adepticon. Man, I don't remember. I'm not going to remember their name. They have glasses. They're hanging out over in that area, grimdark hallway. But they were talking about essentially all the new dangers that like our hobby specifically has made for the planet now. And I not even remotely thought about that, but because there is so much technology now that lets you do things that we could not do before, and you need so little information on it because it does most of it for itself. Uh, Printers, that kind of stuff. There is a lot of not good information out there, and a lot of resin and other stuff like that is ending up in waterways, which is just utterly devastating to the ecosystem. But I'd never thought about that until it was mentioned to me at Adepticon. Uh, Now all of mine, like mine's not. I again, hoarder. I don't throw anything away. Uh, I use all that scrap, but a lot of people don't. So don't throw away uncured resin into the waterways, my sweets. You could really mess up our water and our animals. But yeah, I never thought about that when a drug bust happens. Oh, you flush all the meth down the toilet. Depending on how much is flushed down the toilet, if it ends up in the local water supply or the local water, animals, man, I fucked that all up. I'm over here talking about alligators and meth, and I'm just hacking this chainmail that I worked on to nothing. It's too tight. It's too tight of a fit in there. So I don't know how much we're actually going to be able to really see. Nope. Okay, that looks good. Fuck me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Water washable was a mistake in the same way as food safe gloves are. That, yeah, it's like a. I don't like they. I get it. It's like, oh yeah, it washes off just in water. Yeah, man. I've not even thought about that because no, I don't use any of that because I'm very much aware of what I flush down the toilet and how it can. In fact, I guess I just had not thought that, man, other people do that. Because, like, I don't know, the first thing I do whenever I start something is I obsessively learn everything I can about it, like a psychopath. And then I try to do it as best as possible to my abilities. So I never even messed with resin or any kind of printing until I already had a wash station and a curing station to make sure that like I didn't come in contact with it. And then I hate how long it took me to put it all my stuff in a booth, but I did make sure that I had proper ventilation and stuff, just because my biggest concern is, my wife and my babies, my kitties. I don't want their little lungs getting messed up by fumes. You only get one pair of lungs. You only get one of most things. Kidneys you get two. Yeah. Man, okay, damn it. I got my hand out of the frame. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I got that cheesecloth on it. I got my cheesecloth on me and I'm feeling real crazy. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. That's okay. I'm glad we put that on there. That's good. Yeah, the chainmail on there. Your mom lets you have 2 kidneys? Oh, it's looking great. That mohawk was correct. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. And man, this chainmail, I'm thinking is looking real good too. I'm really loving working on these 1492 models. I just love like hyper detailing. It's always just been something very relaxing and soothing for me. Just doing very, very small details. Things that they require focus. I guess that's it. Why do I like to do it? Is because of, I guess it's Zen. It's a form of meditation, and that's always where my hobby was. It was somewhere for me to escape to and to like just a me place. So yeah, very meditative, focusing, like having to pay attention to exactly what you're doing because it's so small. It almost like forces you to do it. And I feel like Sam has said the same things, like when you were helping me like clean parts, just like even scraping off small amounts of plastic, real flow state stuff. That's it. Yeah, it's just you're just getting the vibe. Yeah. Now, do we want any kind of metal patching on the armor? I was kind of thinking that I wanted to add just a little bit to kind of show that he's had to repair his armor. Almost like a weld or another piece of metal just patched over it and then like kind of riveted in place. I think I might still do that because that does sound good. It is. We're certainly built to focus like that. I figure that's why we've, obviously, yeah, that's like, I think so. It's very interesting. Trying to think. I was just going to ask, do you think they have welding in 1490? I believe so, based on the models. So the models that they produced for these, so those are rivets for sure. As far as welding, I would think they would have. I would think that this would. I don't know if that's welded or if it's riveted. You're right, it wouldn't be welding. When did welding? When did welding? Let's find out. When did welding first become a thing? Welding is a fabrication process that joins materials, usually metals or thermoplastics, primarily by using high temperatures to melt the parts together and allow them to cool, causing fusion. I bet. Okay, history. History of joining metals goes back several millennia. Fusion welding processes that join metals by melting them were not widely used in pre-industrial welding. Early welding techniques used pressure to join the metals, often with heat not sufficiently to fully melt the base metals. One notable exception was the technique to join sections of large statues. In Greek and Roman lost wax casting, the statues were cast as smaller pieces and molten bronze was poured into the joints with temperature sufficient to create fusion welds. So yes, So if the Greeks were doing it, yeah, 1490. The knowledge of how to weld and the concept of welding did exist, and welding as a not welding in proper like what we're thinking now, but at least joining metal together and creating a fusion and melt. Yes, it did exist. Part of one of the things that made me think they have to have welding, whatever the respirator or whatever the respirators and that kind of stuff on the Warrior Priest model, it looks very much like it's got a screen grate, like almost like chainmail. I don't know. I'm guessing that's where oxygen is pulled in. I'm guessing that's it, or maybe it's where he breathes out. I'm not sure. But for some reason, the way that that was made, I was just like, okay, that clearly had to be welded, but I guess not. It could have just been assembled. So I'm going to say yes, but I do want to, I'm probably going to have these like riveted in place, like the metal that's going to be holding it. And I think I want to go over there. Let's see if I have, ow! Okay, we're going to close that. I love it. It felt so good. I love it when my bones feel like they're gonna come out. Oops, all teeth. That's like the Lucky Charms. Oops, all marshmallows. Oops, all teeth. That'd be like if Lucky Charms had teeth instead of marshmallows and they fucked it up. That's the hypothetical imaginary situation I just presented to you as though it was like, you know, a thing that you all should know about. Yeah, I'm sorry. Look at that. That looks like a small piece. That's too thick, though. That's way too thick. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Now I'm kind of looking at him like that kind of would be rad. Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking rad, maybe. Yeah. That reminds me, I was talking about teratomas last night to my partner, and she was like, what the fuck do you mean we can grow eyes inside of us? Oh, Rom, grant us eyes. Grant us eyes so we may see. I love that. That's horrifying. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much horrifying shit out there. Oof. What the hell did this go to? It was definitely, it's a knob, part of a knob. I don't know. I don't know if I should go with just that and gluing it, or if I want to go all out and use actual smaller piece. Actually, I kind of do like the idea of that going there and then having. No, there's just not enough space in there. He wouldn't be able to hold it, I don't think, if he had like a shoulder guard fitting right in there. It might just be too thick. I think it's too big. But I'm really on the fence. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that. I think I'm gonna clip this little part where it bends. I think. I just have so many pieces that look like they are thicker. That's a thinner one. There we go. It seems like that just looks really big. Does that look good? I like that. I think I like that. No, it needs to be smaller. It needs to be smaller. It needs to be this. I'm just gonna use styrene. I'm just gonna do the thing myself. This is why I'm just like, I don't have any bits. I have all these bits. I'm just gonna do it myself. I'm just gonna go make the metal myself. Greeblin. Oh my gosh, your hair's not on. I'm so sorry. I forgot. My poor, sweet Greeblin. I think I showed you guys these things while I'm over here. I had to go grab that. I think I showed you these already, but just in case I didn't. So here is wall high number 1 that has been mirrored. Do it live. Eyes, teeth, hair. Do it live. So this is wall high 1 that has been mirrored. If you recall on the other stream, I was talking about how wall high 2 has a big tree that's sculpted in here, and while I do appreciate that, I don't want the tree there. And that's when I realized, oh shit, it's just wall high 1 with a tree sculpted into it that's been mirrored. So I took wall high 1 and I mirrored it and I printed it. So now I have that minus the tree, and I didn't have to actually cut the tree out myself, which would have been a waste of plastic, would have been a waste of a lot of things. And then I printed these wall lows, or actually these, I think these are wall high. They're walls. I think they are still high walls as opposed to like the low ones because they're even smaller. But in that nice sakura pink. I do very much like the color. It's just good. But yeah, I'm not going to buy any more of that again. I think I'm just going to be buying gray filament from here on out. I just prefer having it. But I thought I would show those. We are currently printing the facade of one of the temple entrances. It's got 7 hours to go, so I can't show it right now. But it's gonna look really good though. I'm really excited. And then I think I'm gonna start printing one of the really fucking big pieces because I want to see how big it really is. Show me how big it is. Where am I going? Over here. I need little boops. Need some boops. Boops and bops. I gotta adjust my shelves. They are not completely level from moving. Where did my metal? There it is. Big old thing of metal. So I got all kinds of fun little pieces of metal in here. This is one of my favorites. Another thing that you're like, hey, that's good. This guy. So this, can anyone guess what this is? Chat, you get points. You get a point, a hobby point. I don't know how they can be spent, and they are not technically legal tender. Nobody? Okay. It is, looks like something I've seen. You have. I've got a couple in here. Just, it covers coffee. When you open up a coffee, there's a thing of coffee. I don't have the things of coffee in here. Nope, those are all peanuts. When you open up coffee, underneath the plastic rim is this guy. And yeah, I'm a big fan because it's metal. So it looks like a coffee cup. I'm sorry, possum. Okay, so. Dude, streaming at 8 is so much more fucking awesome than 640. It is 9:28 and I don't feel like I've been hobbying for an hour and a half. Now, whether or not I've actually gotten an hour and a half stuff done, I don't know. I think I have. I mean, this guy's pretty much fucking, he's really close to being done. This, I'm not going to use for this, but I did want to show it because I absolutely love this stuff. Great material. I love that you switched times. Great way to start my weekday or workday, lol. Oh, that's great. That's why I didn't quite recognize it. I usually get bags. Roz, gotcha. No, that'll do it. Yeah, I'm a pour over fan. That's, I think once my buddy Garth introduced me to so many things. I was a trash boy, just ready to let the world do what it wanted. And he was just like, nah, man, you got to care about yourself. He's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. And I'm very, very, very thankful. This is, I can't stress enough, like me, as I come out hot because I'm on guard. I'm on guard all the damn time. I'm not trying to be anymore. But when you're on guard for forever, you get really used to like just negativity. And I'm not trying to put that out there. What I'm saying is, don't. When Garth started working with me, I knew he was going to be like the person that I like, almost pretty much like my partner. So it was like, this is the guy that I'm going to spend every day with. He's going to sit next to me. Like I really need it to be someone that I like. And when I asked, like my boss at the time, I was like, so what's the new guy like? You know, I'm a pretty intense person. I know that. Like, do you think we're going to get along? He was like, honestly, I think you are going to be disturbed by how much you all have in common. And I was just like, that's weird. He's like, yeah, you just need to meet him. And then I meet him, I'm just like, oh, this is wonderful. Just another big goofball with a very strange brain like mine. And the downside of that is it's just like very quick you're like, okay, I love having people to, you know, check myself with, but also it's just like you kind of have to be like, okay, you need to know when you're going to get an echo chamber, because it's like, I know this person is so much like me. I need to find someone who has a different point of view than I do about most things. But it was always very great to be like, hey, Garth, check me on this. Am I crazy or does this make sense? And he'd be like, oh, no, that makes perfect sense. Well, it sounds like you should do blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, okay, that's what I thought too, buddy. Love that Garth. Great guy, great guy. But yeah, gave me a lot of really good advice over the years. Man, oh boy, I need to get. I was gonna say I need to get some kind of brace system that forces me to hold my arms in place, so you guys can see what I'm working on, and that immediately made me think of the Sacha Baron Cohen movie America. My absolute favorite part, and I had to, we rewinded the scene and watched it over and over and over, and I cried from laughing. But the guy that he convinces to put on these fake arms to distract the terrorists when they come in, like and assault him, quote unquote, that he's preparing for. But they are so very clearly fake arms. But when he comes in, he says, "Oh yeah, the fake arms are like on the desk, and they look like they're made out of like paper mache, or like they look so fake. They were from mannequins, I'm guessing." But he's holding a book, or you know, he's on the phone. He's holding the phone, like one of them's right here, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, that sounds good. That's it." And the door kicks up, and he goes, "Ah, bang!" And he's like, "Oh, I thought that you were on the phone." He goes, "Yes, I have these arms." He says, "Yes, they're made to look exactly like my own." It's the way that he says it is just so hilarious, because they don't look like any real person's arms in any way. It's just a level of absurd comedy. That's what it is. I'm a big fan of absurdist humor. Always have been, mainly because I've not been able to really grasp, I think, what normal is, because I'm just like, you guys don't see that this is fucking insane. A lot of stuff. I'm not trying to be negative. I can't stress that enough. No, I'm not. No. And you don't want to be negative either. You don't mean that. I'm negative. I don't give a piss. I'm Jumbo, baby. So, man, oh man. I got these here. Now we got to put some rivets in. Well, maybe I should have thought about that before I used metal. We'll see. Nope, Yep, absolutely. I absolutely should have thought about that before I used metal. It's okay. We'll figure something out. Uh, yeah, I do the same. I do think the time change has allowed more people to join us. I do think so too. And I really like that. I'm really happy with that. It's not, I can't stress enough. It's not that I'm like, man, I got to get as many views as I can. Not that. The whole thing is I want to be, I guess, not seen, but I'd like as many people, if they are wanting to learn like what I'm trying to show, I'd like to be at a time in which they are able to enjoy it. Man, I'm gonna have to cut that. This does not look safe at all. Doesn't feel too safe. We're not gonna be able to cut that. That's too thick. That's why I used metal. You goofball, Eli. Come on. So, what is our other option here? Our other option would probably be green stuff, or because I don't want to put a punch on that. That's thick metal. It's not going to go through. We're going to have to... Yeah, we're going to have to just do a little bit of green work, and that's fine. While I do like to have my rivets and stuff made with actual micro beads, I'll concede that on that piece of metal, I'm not going to be able to do that. But I do think that it will look really good with just some small dots of green stuff right here, and then there, and there to hold it in place. Yeah. And I also kind of like that it evens him out. So adding just a little bit more difference on this side in comparison to this one, kind of evens out the fact that his helmet is asymmetrical. So we got the shield, and that arm's a little beefier with the tube and the mace. His cloak's kind of hanging that way. It just kind of creates a visual. I try to keep the golden ratio, or the golden... Ah! It's okay. And that, my sweets, is why we pin things like a crazy person. He's fine. Yeah, okay, nothing. Yeah. And I realized that, hey, maybe don't throw your models like that guy, but sometimes my little hands just do things I don't have too much control over. Wah, wah. I think it's probably because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to react to something that I think I'm getting ready to do, but I haven't done it yet, and my brain's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Putting the cart before the horse, as they say. Well, maybe, and this is just me throwing this out there, maybe we ought to put the horse in the cart and pull him around a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna say this guy is ready for green. We're gonna just do last bit of touch-ups on him with green stuff. I'm probably gonna wrap that mace handle. That would look pretty good. Yeah, we'll wrap that mace handle as well. Will we? Oh, I wanted to tie some things around his breathing hose, so we'll do that right now. We're gonna use itty bitty thread. Curse these hands. Yeah. Curse these metal hands of mine. Oh, how's the missus holding up? To shreds, you say? Oh, the wheat thresher. Oh, to shreds, you say? And how's the missus holding up? Oh, to shreds, you say? I love Futurama. I won't ever stop quoting random things. Yeah. Alrighty. Ba-da-bow, Baba Duke. Duke, Duke, Duke. Shout out Babadook, LGBTQ icon. I don't know if anyone else is familiar with that, but I really liked. I really, 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 really liked that Netflix fucked up and had the Babadook listed in the LGBTQ section, and the LGBTQ community was just like, "Yep, just he's ours. We claim him." Yay! Welcome, Gardner. Good to see you. Good to see you. I enjoyed the Babadook. If anyone is wondering if like, hey, is it worth watching? I liked it. A Duke. We recently watched 28 Years Later. And I hadn't heard about that. Oh, really? Oh, the Babadook? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shit. Because, yeah, it's Baba Shook. Baba Shook. I love it. Yeah, I absolutely loved when that happened. And the response to it was just everything that I would want, where it's just like, yes. It was just like, don't interrupt. He's speaking his truth. The Babadook's just being Babadook. Baba Shook. Yeah, I love it. Very pro Babadook. Duke. The character, not the. I mean, the movie's good too. It's good. I need to watch it again. Actually, I'll say that. But yeah, I watched 28 Years Later, and I don't really remember 28 Weeks Later. I remember being unimpressed by it. 28 Years Later was visually gorgeous. And I really loved, like, the first part of that movie really, really got me. Like, if it had stayed, I think, on that tone and that storyline, I would have really, really loved it. But it got a little into, it went way more into, like, I guess, an emotional story as opposed to, like, survivalist story, which is what the first part just very much reminded me of 28 Days Later. And it was just shot gorgeously. Such a beautiful movie. But and I say the same thing about 28 Days Later. I thought that movie was absolutely filmed amazing. Also, huge fan of Cillian Murphy. Always have been. Love his acting. Now, hopefully he's not done anything horrible, but as an actor, I've always been impressed. I would assume. I'm not going to assume anything about anybody. Well, so. Babadook wasn't what I expected when we watched it. My brain was ready to be off and just felt confused. So yeah, it's definitely a ride. Duke. I'm also just a huge sucker for anything that involves, like, I'm trying to think of the correct term. I love boogeyman stories. I mean, that's it. Like, I've always loved that. I'm trying to think. Johnny and I were talking about that. We were talking about horror and, like, fairy tale almost horror, and it's just like, man, it's weird thinking about, like, fairy tales are often some of the most gnarly shit, and it's just like, I don't feel comfortable personally writing too much about things that, like, absolutely are based, like, influenced by fairy tales, because it's just like, man, as soon as you're like, hey, the main, like, target of this thing is, like, kids, I think that's just like, well, do you want to be the guy that's like, I make spooky things happen to kids? But at the same time, it's just like, that is the origin of Bagmen, like, and Bogeyman, the Boogeyman. all of those is just the fear of something that comes in the dark and takes your kids. It's just like that is fucking horrifying because it literally means the difference between like survival of the species, and that's like any animal. So makes sense why we have a primal fear of it. But I've always found those very fascinating. And the Babadook is absolutely a boogeyman. I think those kinds of things are best when they are just utterly other. And I say that for most horror. I thought it was scary until it was happy. Very little. That's it. It was just like, and that's kind of how I felt. He loves the nightlife. Yeah. Oh, Babadook is just, man, got to go out and get that nightlife. But yeah, 28 Days Later. It's worth watching. I don't know how many times I would want to watch it. I don't know, when did Blink Twice come out? Because before I say anything firm, I want to know when that one came out. 2024. That movie scared the shit out of me. That one, horror recommendation, that was one of my absolute favorite horror movies that I saw last year. Blink Twice with Channing Tatum, who is fucking amazing in that movie. He's a great actor, period. But the character that he plays is horrifying, absolutely horrifying, and he does it so well and so realistic that the only movie that has made me feel the way Blink Twice made me feel is Green Room, and that is the scariest fucking movie I'd ever seen. That movie fucked me up because it was too real and too relatable. Just to specify, the movie Green Room was relatable because I have played in places like that. And never once did I think how anything like what happens in that movie could happen. And I guess the horrifying thing about that is, and I absolutely fuck Nazis, period. Period. But even like the dude that is in charge of them, it's not, he doesn't want what happens to happen either. It's a lose-lose for everybody involved. And it's just, the other movies that guy made, he made Blue Ruin, which I did not care for at all. And he made, it might have been Out in the Dark, or The Long Dark, Out in the Dark or Long Dark with Lawrence Fishburne. And it's about this dude that is a wolf expert that goes to try and find this lady's missing husband, I think, or missing kid that was taken by the wolves, supposedly, or they're afraid. They just want him back. So he's like trying to track down the wolves. It's not one I'd recommend. I didn't love it. It was fine. I need to compile a list of movies that are like not very mainstream horror that have really, really, really done it for me. But Blink Twice, I don't want to give anything away. I'll tell you this. I mean, it heavily involves drugs and it is the single most realistic depiction I have ever seen of coming to after like blacking out or being drugged, or even like when you wake up and you're groggy. It's Apostle Hundo. Loved Apostle. Oof. I'm going to show it just because I know if you love Apostle, you'll know what it's a reference to. On, what is his name? I'm not going to guess this guy's name. I was going to say Gerdal Huratet. Gerdal Huratet is the Imperator Resplendent of Phaeton. Phaeton has always been warlike. Poor warlike Phaeton. Phaeton has always been warlike. They are not a forged world of science like Mars, or so Mars would have you believe. But one of the characters that I was working on for the 28 narrative event, it's Viserion involved, but dealing with Phaeton, I made this tech priest, one of my favorites, and eventually I will finish him. He's very still rough, but he really is the pinnacle of like when I got fucking crazy. When I went insane and started to just do hyper detailing to a level that is comical. His face is covered in spikes. Like he has digital, data spikes coming out of his face that are, I think, high E strings, if that. Actually, no, they're not. They're not high E strings. They are little, like sprigs. Hold the Dark is the movie you're talking about, but it's Jeffrey Wright, not Lawrence Fishburne. Bernard. What? I feel terrible about that. But Hold the Dark? Maybe. Margot, hold on. Man, with that beard, Man, you're right. Jeffrey Wright. I've never made that mistake before. Shit. What is, just wikied it. I haven't seen. Yeah, thank you, Shankly. So yeah, here you go. This is the reference, the little reference I made to, Apostle. This is, so his back has a fuck ton of servo arms. He's got 4 different servo arms that I built out of, brass tubing and watch gears, so they would be functional and turn and be able to turn the way they're supposed to, because I wanted it to be obscenely realistic. So I'll just get the arms out. I've never shown these. These are fun. And some little hands. His hand got fucked up in between one of like millions of moves that I've done, moving my desk from one area to the other. But his other hand was an absolute fucking work of art, if I don't say so myself, that I fucked up. And here's what is left. It's taken a couple of tumbles. But just to show, I've filed the fingers, like they are all metal, because I did not want any, I wanted them to be very firm, like so they wouldn't break, but I also wanted them to look sharp as fuck. So like his thumb is still one of the pieces, but he used to have 2 very long fingers here that were shaped like skinning knives. And then he has a syringe coming out of his fingertip here that is made from hyper small, like tubes. It's like this, where they fit inside of each other, but they are like watch parts that slide just into each other. And then he had this arm and this arm with a saw, a radial saw. Yep, so here's another one of the syringes that I made. So that is, to bring you through, down here, that is going to be a watch part that essentially is acting as like the base connector. Then we have brass tubing, another brass tubing fit inside of it, and then we have, I believe that is a high E guitar string. So that is what those are. And here's the other little grabbing hands. You had 2 of these manipulator hands. The fingers have become broken on them, but again, you can see I filed. Let me put that my finger back there so maybe you can see a little bit better. Yeah, so I filed these down with diamond files to get the shapes, to make them look like they need to. Oh, is that the device on the table? the device on the table. Oh, yeah. So this is, it's a drill. It's supposed to look very much, I made it in, like, inspired by uh, the scene that probably everybody who has seen that movie remembers, that involves a very, very, very brutal lobotomy. I wanted it, it's missing two of the arms broke off. Honey. But it's, yeah, I love doing fiddly stuff like this, and getting exactly what I don't know. Compromise is something I never fucking have wanted to do. And when it comes to, like, if I have something in my head that I want to see, thank you. I'm really, really excited. Eventually I will finish this, and we will do that thing. We will do that thing. But this character is a member of, I'm trying to remember, Abomini. I don't remember. It's essentially it is Phaeton's, like, their Inquisition, and the Mechanicum has things like this in 30K. So rules wise, they did exist. But essentially it is someone that is in charge of regulating the Mechanicum. And so this character, I forgot the hand. So this character is going, eventually when he's finished, to have a servitor that, like, is made, it's very fleshy. Like, it's supposed to be, and I want to say the Latin was the abominable flesh. Like, essentially they are terror weapons used to hunt down heretical tech priests in Phaeton with a level of zealotry and, like, just, you don't want them to catch you, because they're going to turn you into stuff, and you're not going to die when they do it. But the entire, like, exchange between the boys, between the Bolter and me, their Inquisitor and mine, it was going to be done through recordings. One of the servitors is essentially just like this lumbering flesh dog table looking thing, and then another one kind of follows them with just a bunch of, like, memo cassettes or discs that, like, constantly is changing them. And while he's changing them, like, they're both synced. They are part of this tech priest. This tech priest controls them, like, with his will. They're slaves to his consciousness. So while he is doing, what he's doing, they are acting throughout it. So while he talks through recordings. And all of the recordings that I was going to make, his words are made of screams and pleads for help. Essentially, they are recordings of his craft, and that is, like, the background of when this thing is talking to them in a very transatlantic, like, voice. Hello, Inquisitor. And in the background, all you can just hear is and just, the sounds of skin being peeled, and awful, but with a very calm, alarming transatlantic accent. And I found that very, very, very disturbing and unsettling and horrifying whenever it popped into my head. I'm gonna grab my little notebook that's got a picture of him. Let me see. I'll share that. Where are you? It's the other notebook. I did a little drawing of him that I actually thought was pretty good, and it's also got that creepy weirdo's name. So let's find out. What's his name? What's his name? Gotta have a name. Come on, baby. Where's the name? Where the hell is my goddamn lawnmower? Here it is. Boop, boop, boop. Sorry, my sweets. Let me grab. Oh, hey. I can show you that. That's fun. Little story time. So, these were some concepts for my Black Legion stuff. That's concept for tables. That's Phaeton's symbol. So this would be the Greek letter phi, which would be for Phaeton. And this is essentially a representation of the planet. The Forge world itself, it's 3 moons that are locked in geosynchronous orbit. So as Phaeton turns, these moons turn with it. And then you've got the 2 suns of Phaeton. So I tried to also, the 3, there's all, I love the number 3. This is actually my first sculpt for those tech priests that I made for the Green Mechanicum Invitational that Iron Sleep did. These were sent from Phaeton to erase all records of communication between them and the Green Mechanicum. That is a big crab-looking thing. What else do I have in here before I start flipping Tonight's Crimson? Warlord Titan, table. There's Gratal Hertet, Imperator Splendent, so essentially about the size of a Titan, Night Titan. This giant Mechanicum monstrosity, spider legs, long flowing robes of past battle victories and whatnot. Eventually I was going to make this guy, and I never got around to it. This is a little zoom in on the artifact called the Council of Three. Council of Three is a concept that I came up with a long time ago that kind of permeates into a lot of my work, but it's the idea of triangulating thoughts. I mentioned Garth. Garth is definitely always been a member of that, like at times when I need something. So I often like to have, if I have something that I'm thinking about, or I like to check myself, I will, often reference the 3 people that I think have a very well-grounded thought process about something that this could fit under, and I ask them, and I, collate with them. That's the Council of Three. The Council of Three is, there is a vast library in Phaeton of just servo skulls that are just the experts upon whatever. There's a great unclean one drawing. Is he I forgot. Yeah. Is he because his hand's very broken. Which will be the skeleton. Iratov Mogul. Iratov Mogul. Yeah. Saw hand, sutures. Yeah. Iratov Malagat. Yeah, no, Iratar Malagat. That is Iratov Malagat. I-A-R-T-R-O-V. Irtrov Malagat. That would be him. Okay. Yeah, and these were all for, hey, that's the guy that I turned into a little chaos spawn. There's the other. I don't know if I have anything else in here that I really want to show. You might recognize that guy. The baby. Wait, are the Council of Three friends or servo skulls? So, in my personal life, the Council of Three, the concept of doing that are people that I'm friends with. That's pretty good. I'm not too bad. I'm happy with that one. There's that kitty. Build your own nightmare kitty. The Council of Three, just the concept of triangulating the best decision to make on something if I'm not sure of it, or if I think, I often like to say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Am I thinking correctly? I do that often. I don't always do it. It's not something I always do. If it's a really, 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 really big decision, I do. Because I like to make sure I am fine to be wrong. I don't like to be incorrect in what I say. And I would like, if I say something that isn't correct, I like to be corrected just because I don't like to spread misinformation. But the Council of Three, in the sense of like Phaeton, it is essentially it's the concept of taking the 3 most knowledgeable ideas or minds on something and going and retrieving these servo skulls and locking them into this like thing. And essentially it's like collating from Alien when Ash was like, have you and Mother made any decision? He's like, we are collating, which I've always loved that word. It's just good. Just combining, thinking, reviewing overall. I might borrow that for another setting. Oh yeah, dude. Council of Three. But yeah, I'm a big fan of making really, really fiddly little bit stuff. I kind of got derailed there. I started drawing on this yesterday, and I'm pretty happy with how it's going. Looks pretty creepy, but it's for Wretched. I'll show that. Just a real awful set of eyes behind a skin mask with a bunch of teeth showing, and then I believe that would be the thrice damned tongue, the thrice damned quill of Balgaro the Reviled, which, of course, the thrice damned tongue is a quill. Ties back to Cawdor. Reminds me of Macbeth. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I love referencing literature and film and things that I love. So I try to have little love letters in my work to different things, especially if it's like, man, I want to make something important and special to me, like being able to reference something that I love or that has like impacted me is always like a very, something that I like to do. But yeah, I think we are at 10:05. I have got to pee so bad. I gotta stop trying to stream and not be like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna stop here just because I gotta pee so bad. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I had a wonderful time. I'm really happy with what we got done with this guy, and I'm pretty sure he's still in frame, right? Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, so I'm really happy with what we got done with this guy today. Have a great day. Sorry, I was like, oh no, thank you for coming. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here and keeping me company. It really means the world to me. Like I mean that. Having people to talk to while I work on this, and if anyone appreciates what I'm doing or learns anything, that's enough for me. So thank you guys so much. I will post something in the Discord and Instagram about Sunday and the exact time. I'm thinking probably the same, 7 o'clock Sunday. That sounds good for the Dying World. Gonna go back into the solo Merkborg play. I will absolutely have it ready for them, and it will be good. I'll be in a good vibe, good voob. I'll be in a good vibe for it. But no, thank you guys so much. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Sit pretty. Be proud of who you are. Yeah, that kind of stuff. All the good things. Thank you again so much. Take care.